All right, how we doing, Bridgeport United fans? Just sitting down here with Nico Petridis, formerly the 93rd, uh, our pick or drafted by the New York Red Bulls in the 93rd round. Recently, just joined Bridgeport United on the time being during Corona. Nico, thank you for joining. So the first question to kind of start off: how did your time at Beachside Soccer Academy help excel your soccer career?
I'd say my time at Beachside went really well. We had a really good group of guys there, especially when they joined the academy. The level of play really just picked up right away. And, I think when I was 16, we actually made it to the quarterfinals in the academy showcase and
Yeah,
playing against top players around the country. And when you expose yourself to the best players, it obviously improves your game just that much more. So,
that's
yeah.
awesome. And who was the biggest coach that had the biggest impact on you? Because I know Mickey Kites, he's a part of that program.
Yeah, Mickey was my coach for a couple years, and I think I'd say he'd helped develop me a lot.
Yeah,
He's an excellent coach on the field. He knows the game very well, and he brought in a good group of guys that fit together really well, and the chemistry was just there, and yeah, helped me tremendously.
it's usually how it goes over at Beachside Soccer Academy.
Yeah.
All right, so second question. You played 2 years at UConn, 2 years at St. John's University. Can you describe the biggest takeaways you had from each university?
I'd say from UConn, actually both of them are quite similar. Both of them extremely tough to play there. You have to be on your A game 100% every single day,
Mhm.
and there's definitely no days off at either program. The coaches obviously have been known to win championships year in and year out, and just developing that winning mentality.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the next one, so what were the differences you noticed in the soccer culture and philosophy at St. John's University versus UConn? So like how did the teams approach tactical kind of stuff, their overall culture?
I'd say at St. John's, we tended to do a little bit more of like high pressing, whereas UConn, we kind of let the game come to us a little bit. But at St. John's, we really got to that high press and try and win the ball high up on the field and just really attack and get down at teams.
Yeah, yeah. And for you as a player, which did you kind of fit in more?
I enjoyed playing the high press with St. John's
Yeah.
more just because I like to just get up the field and attack. Yeah, use the pace and just press the defenders, win the ball high up, and
Yeah,
work on like that counter attacking, getting the goal as quickly as possible.
it's huge. All right, so next question. After being drafted in the 2020 MLS draft by the New York Red Bulls in the 93rd round, what were some of the initial thoughts running through your mind?
It was a little bit surreal because obviously all the sacrifices and stuff that I've made was for a moment like that to happen, to have
Mm.
the opportunity to make it into a professional team. And I didn't really have too much time to think about it because the day that I got drafted, that weekend I was already flying out to Florida with
Yeah,
the first team to try and
it's a quick
join
turn.
them in the training camp. So it was a quick turnaround. So as surreal as it was, I had to get myself ready and prepared really, really quickly.
It's huge. And then for all the young fans that are watching, what sort of advice would you give to them?
I mean, the biggest thing that I would say is don't let anybody tell you whether you're not good enough. As long as you put in the work and put in the time, anything's possible. And just because somebody says one thing doesn't mean that that's true. And just try and prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, that's what I tell the kids that I coach. Especially we just had tryouts and we had to make cuts, and I was like, "Hey, if I'm telling you you're not good enough, I want you to come back next year and prove it to me, and show me
Exactly.
why." So that's huge. It's a good mentality to have. So the next question: how has your adjustment been to the owner and founder Dan Pelletier, Coach Juan, and the players and overall culture at Bridgeport United?
I think that Dan's really brought me in, like kind of like his own family,
Mhm.
making sure that I'm set up as best as possible to just continue to develop and kind of use, I wouldn't say a setback, but just like this little obstacle in life to try and like get myself back into it. And he's been very supportive, texting me every day, seeing how things are, and just making sure that everything's going smoothly.
That's awesome. And how have the players been? How is that? that been? Because I know you've been attending practice, and we
Yeah, I've
have.
been to a couple practices so far. Obviously, with the hurricane the other day,
Yeah,
stopped for practicing a couple days, but the level is actually really high, and I don't think that I think that it's going to be a pretty good squad for this upcoming season, and I'm excited to just continue to grow with them and play some games with them and see what the future holds.
that's awesome. So, final question: what new challenges are you hoping to accomplish with your time at BUFC? I know you said, it's kind of you wouldn't say a setback, but it's just a kind of temporary little thing that you can continue getting your touches on the ball. So, I mean, if you're not at BUFC, what do you, intend to do in the future?
I mean, right now I'm just focused on continuing to develop and use these resources that BUFC are giving me, and yeah, that's about it. Just continue to grow, continue to develop, and learn from all the players around me, learn from these new coaches, and just continue to take it day by day and
So,
again see what happens.
it's good. All right, Nico, it was a pleasure having you on, and hopefully we can see you starting in the starting 11 next home game.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, Nico.
Have a good one.